Like, that's so needed for men elsewhere.
Welcome back to Muse on the Mic. I'm Riley.
And I'm Emily. Thanks everyone for joining us on another great episode here at Muse on the Mic. So excited to have everyone here. And quick introduction. Riley and I are the owners of a spicy massage parlor in Toronto, Canada. A rub and tug, happy endings, body slides, the whole works. And on the pod, we talk about all kinds of things about men, women, sex, relationships, sex work, our crazy lives, all of it. So tell everyone what topic we've picked for today, Riley.
Well, we are again jumping into our men's appreciation series. That was hard to come out. And this time we're going to take like a lighter approach, or at least a lighter approach with the video that we're going to react to and talk to you guys about, because it is a really heavy topic. All of these men appreciation series episodes are, but I think this one in particular is going to be kind of funny. It's Bill Burr, who's doing some stand-up comedy on YouTube. So we're going to watch it with you guys and have some discussion.
I love this. I'm such a Bill Burr fan. He is one of the best out there right now on the comedy streak. Yeah, there's honestly like a bunch of his episodes we could react to on extras that are about men, relationships, race, sex, and how they all kind of mash up together. It's really funny, actually. He's a hilarious dude. But if you're a Bill Burr fan, that means you gotta like the video, like right now. And subscribe. We'll bug you to do that again at the end, I'm sure. But I know there's so many Bill Burr fans because he literally is like the best of the best. And he's on so many shows all the time. He's voice characters for cartoons. He does so many different things and he's a hoot. And he hits to the punches real hard. So like you said, heavy topic, funny approach.
Yes.
Let's have fun and see.
I'm this weird part of my life. I really am. It's this great thing where I'm just letting go of a lot of shit and also kind of discovering stuff about myself. Like I found out recently I have like depression issues. I couldn't believe it. I always hated when people, I'm fucking depressed. Shut up, you fucking pussy. Just get up and plow through it. Like the I got clinic on the planet. I couldn't get off the ground. I had no fucking empathy whatsoever. I used to look at those people like, what the fuck is wrong with them? And I had the exact same thing. I had no fucking idea, you know? I don't have like clinical depression. I have regular depression, you know? I got the regular stuff, like a lot of fucked up shit happened to me. I never dealt with it. I just kind of kept putting it over here, you know? It just sort of floats over here. And every once in a while it taps me on the shoulder like, hey, you ready to deal with this shit? I'm like, okay, maybe. Or I could death scroll on Instagram and watch some guy refurbishing old skillets for like the next 3 hours. Oh, maybe. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'll stay up till 3 a.m. washing people like power wash like sidewalks and driveways rather than unpacking that shit. And it's always fucking tapping me on the shoulder, creeping up on me. I call it the fog. So I try to stay ahead of it. And I have all these hobbies and all these different things that I do. So I just keep moving so it can't keep up with me, right? And I've noticed at some point, I'm going to have to face this shit, right? So the end of last year, I was taking like 6 weeks off from the road, and I knew the shit was coming, right? I felt it. It was, hey, here you go, Bill. You're off the road. Time to deal, right? And this time I was like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm just going to sit in this shit as long as I could sit in it, you know, and see what happens, right? So it took about 3 days before my wife noticed, right? I was sitting over in the corner. I had like an Afghan like wrapped around me. I wasn't shaving and shit, and I'm just sitting there watching TV all day. And you know what's funny? When you shave your head like this, it looks like you know jujitsu, possibly, you know? But after 3 days, you look like some retired shoe salesman, you know, that didn't get the gold watch. So I'm sitting there, and my wife, you know, we got 2 little kids. She took her a few days to notice. She finally takes me in. She goes, hey, what's going on with you? She's like, is everything all right? And I was like, no. And she's like, what's the matter? And for the first time in 20 years of knowing her, I actually communicated an emotion. I swear to God. She goes, what's the matter? And I go, I'm sad. Exactly. That's fucking hilarious coming out of a man's mouth. It's just funny. Yeah. She didn't know what the fuck to do. Right? Men aren't allowed to be sad. We're allowed to be one of two things. We're allowed to be mad or fine. That's it. Right? Those are normal behaviors of a man.
I've already got the giggles. I love me some Bill Burr. You know what? It's so funny, and yet it's so not, right? Like, men are they allowed to be sad, like, as a general societal like thing, or they're people on TV and like people just openly talking about it? Not at
No.
all. And that point about they can be fine or they can be mad
Mhm.
is like every like husband, every like guy who just mows the lawn and takes out the garbage and teaches his kid to like throw a ball and like those normal things. How you doing, Dad? Fine. Like, it's
Mhm.
just so like ordinary Joe, right?
But the weird thing is put it to the opposite, because for a woman, if someone says, "How was your day?" and you're like, or no, "How are you doing?" and you say, "I'm fine," that's like red flag. Everyone knows something's wrong. But for a man, that's just part of how they
Yeah.
describe their feeling for the day, and it's normal to us.
It's how they're supposed to be, right?
Mhm.
Or a man can be completely pissed off,
Right.
right? Like, he can be fiddling with the car and freaking out because something's not working, building IKEA furniture, like all the things that trigger people, right? So
Yeah.
IKEA furniture is just the worst. Like, IKEA
Mhm.
furniture will break relationships. But getting all mad about whatever, and that's fine for a man. Again, it would be different for a woman. You know, we can't just like walk around the kitchen and start throwing pots and pans around because we're
Right.
angry. We're supposed to keep that in. And yet a man saying, "I feel sad," is almost
Mhm.
like, what?
Yeah,
Because
sorry.
is that normal?
Mhm. And I mean,
I
I
don't know.
think in a woman's life, it's so normal to have conversations about emotions that for no given reason, some days we all wake up and feel a little sad, and we communicate that easily. Like, "I don't know
Hmm.
what's wrong. I'm just feeling sad today." And that's a normal conversation. But what stuck out to me that he said was about, I mean, we all have trauma. That's part of the human experience. And I think
Yes.
as humans, we all, some more than others, try to run from it or avoid it. But eventually in age, it catches up to us that
Mm,
that is a very normal human reaction. But I think for men,
absolutely.
even more so.
I mean, if you're thinking of like the list of natural human emotions,
Mhm.
especially if you're just going with the basics, happy, sad, they're like the
Mhm.
first two that you think about, right?
Yeah.
So why it's so like kind of twice removed from men's assumed capabilities of emotion is just
Mhm.
strange. And you're right, women build so much community around how we talk and how we share. it,
Mhm.
it is that emotion sharing and that kind of coming together and all empathizing together, or even just like once a month for 3 days because it's a certain part of our cycle and we're just sad that time. Like, it becomes so normal and so like acceptable to talk about. I feel like even if you're going to a therapist, is the first thing that a man sits down on his first day going, "Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Bill and I feel sad." Like, it's
Right.
not, it would probably take 5 sessions just to get for that actual word to come out. Like,
Mhm.
it's strange and it's sad. It's sad to hear. And yet we know this so much about men just based on the perspective that we have, which we'll talk about at the end of this video. But it's, as we're watching this, I'm kind of like cringing a little bit
Mhm.
because civilians don't know this stuff. Female civilians don't know this stuff. Men
Right.
know what they feel, right?
Yeah.
And we always have this secret privy where, because of our position, we get to know these things about men, which to
Yeah.
me is my favorite part of the whole job, right? Like, it's
Mhm.
really cool. And if you're smart, you can use those insights as like tools in your own life. And I
Mhm.
tell the girls all the time, you're gonna make an amazing wife one day because you're learning all the things.
Yeah.
And it's like secret knowledge you're not really supposed to have. And yet everyone should be able to talk about this. And it
Mhm.
shouldn't be a fucking secret. And yet it's another element that we're highlighting that men carry on their shoulders in silence. No wonder they need safe spaces
Yeah.
like Muse.
No, I
Anyways,
totally agree.
let's hop back and keep on watching because now I'm like fully invested.
Let's go.
And you can be mad like, "Jesus Christ, who put this here? How many fucking times do I gotta say, keep this goddamn area clean? Jesus Christ, somebody's gonna fall and break their fucking neck. I'm so tired of, I said it once, I said it 100 fucking times, right?" And then what does your wife just fucking rolls her eyes? Just send him out in the yard, let him walk it off, throw him a beer out there, he'll be fine, right? Yeah, he'll be good, right? You're allowed to be that or fine. How you doing, Bill? I'm fine. You sure? Yeah, I'm sure. I said I was fine. Why the fuck would I say it's fine? Fine? Then you're just right back over there. And your whole fucking life is that. And what's weird about a guy is we feel all the other emotions, right? Melancholy, being sentimental, enjoying a sunset, all of that type of shit. But all this in here is just called gay, right? It's just a giant bag of gay. You swing it over your shoulder and you just fucking throw that in the woods. That's it. You do that for half a century, one day you grab your fucking chest and you go down and then that's it. It's a fucking wrap. Yeah. So I'm an old dad. I got to be here for my kids, so I got to start figuring myself out here. So, yeah, I just told her. I was like, fuck it. I just said I'm sad. And she just went, oh. She's like, well, was it something I did? Did I do something? I said, no, you and me are great. You and me are great. This is some shit from a long time ago, that I just been thinking it's been coming up and all of that. It's just been really bothering me. And she goes, oh, okay, well, I'm sorry. And then she just walked out of the room. And I couldn't even get mad at her. I was just envious, right? I was like, I didn't know you could fucking do that. All these years of listening to you dump your day on me? Having to actively listen? Mandy said that to you? No, she didn't. Oh my goodness. So what did you say? Oh, you said that? No, you were totally within your right to say that. And I feel proud to be with you knowing that you stuck up for yourself in that fucking moment. Jesus Christ. Right?
Oh, he's so fun. You know what? What stood out to me in that part was the active listening comment, because he's right. Men almost have to learn that. Like,
Right.
and most husbands in the first, couple years, the joke is that they'll fuck up until they finally figure it out. And then
Right.
happy wife, happy life continues,
Mhm.
right? Like you figure out the things. She really likes when the bed's made, and it's very important not to touch the fancy napkins and like all the
Right.
things. And so they have to learn to be hyper-focused, active listeners when they're very thorough-minded, right? They're very black
Mhm.
and white thinkers, and all the yada yada that we want to talk about is a lot for them to focus in. It's like having a conversation with me. There's a lot that comes at you, and you've got to gather it all and put it together somehow and then answer back. God love you.
Mhm.
But it's interesting in the sense that all of a sudden when those roles are reversed,
Yeah.
and she was put on the active listening spot,
Yeah.
she kind of fumbled. She kind of fumbled a little bit. Like, I'm
But
glad she finally got there.
I kind
But
of
yeah.
I have empathy for her because she doesn't know what to do with this information. It's new. And now I think she should have slowed down and dived in a little bit. But at the same time, it's so jarring because this isn't something as women we're used to hearing. And I think with men and sadness or depression, there's a lot of men that go to see therapists, and I think that's becoming more normalized, thank God. But I think for a man to go to a therapist, it has to be like clinically depressed, like to that
Right.
level for them to take action. Whereas a woman, we think to go to therapists, like, I got to talk through this situation. I have to think about how I'm going to handle this that's going to come up shortly. Like, men really have to wait for the extreme. And so when they do voice kind of their emotions, we're not sure what to do with it. But let's normalize having those conversations with these poor men.
Absolutely. It's funny you say that. I'd never thought of it that way, but you're right. Women are more, I think there's a tendency when we have those kind of big conversations or life events coming up and we're like, how do I handle this best? It's almost like a therapist becomes a coach. Like you want to
Right.
check in and make a game plan. and like have the whiteboard and you go here and then you go here and then you say this and your mother should agree. Like we'll get
Right.
her there by doing blah blah blah, right? And I've never thought of that perspective. Whereas you're right, men, it's almost like to the crisis point.
Yeah.
Like you've got to be at that rock bottom. I really am just gonna have to bite the bullet or bite my ego and
Hmm.
decide to go see some schmuck on a chair that's gonna sit there and tell me about my life, you know? Like it's such
Yeah.
a different thing. And I think once they get there and realize
Hmm.
the benefits and that it's not an attack mode or any of those kind
Hmm.
of things, hopefully, if you get a good therapist, I think from there it probably becomes much more comfortable. And I feel like those are the men you see on social media that are talking about therapy because they're like,
Hmm.
hey, I just learned that this shit works.
Yeah.
It's like when we figure out certain things the men normally handle, right? And so I think that kind of stuff, once it's kind of the gate is opened for a man to learn how to express emotion,
Yeah.
I feel like he'll continuously do that, probably in many
Hmm.
aspects of his life. And it might even make other people in his surrounding a little uncomfortable because maybe they're not
Right.
comfortable with it or have never tried it or like, why are you suddenly talking like this, bro? Like, what's
Right.
that all about? And we're sitting here going, man, I talk to every person I've seen today like that. Like, what are
Hmm.
you talking about? To
Yeah.
us, it's so different. And I'll lean back on how privy we are because I don't know if it's the only place I can think of other than a therapist's office, but in a session with a sex worker, especially a massage parlor, an escort, something quiet and one-on-one, we have these kind of conversations with men all the time.
Hmm.
And it's
Yeah.
ordinary for our day. And once you breach that kind of relationship with a customer, it becomes ordinary for him that,
Hmm.
oh, I can talk to Emily about this, or I can talk to Riley about this, or
Hmm.
blah, blah, blah. I'm going to email the owners and let them know my life story. Like it really becomes this again, the floodgates are open and therefore you're not going to stifle it back in. Like they're fully open and communicative. And it's so special that they trust us with that. It's
Yeah.
again also so sad if we are the only space because
Yeah.
technically it should be with your partner that you'd be having
Hmm.
those kind of conversations, especially if it's about your relationship
Hmm.
and or about like big life decisions. And yet they are so comfortable talking to us and we protect those secrets of theirs with the same privacy that we expect our secrets.
Yeah.
It just it's a secret fight club thing that happens where no one talks about the golden rule is this, that, and the other. And yet, my goodness, like that's so needed for men
Yeah.
elsewhere. It's ugh.
You want to go deeper? You want to go all the way? Let's go deep throat.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Deep Throat with your favorite sexologist, Emily Muse. We're diving into some kinks today. We're talking about cages, chastity belts, and a little bit of sissification. So what does all that mean? Why are people into it? And is it something you would like to try? Maybe. Let's dive in. So aside from my usual knowledge and a bit of extra research for this episode, I actually sparked up a conversation with one of my favorite former clients who is also a client of Muse and has had quite the discovery in the journey in terms of discovering his own kinks, his likes, his tastes, and his fetishes. And they have evolved. He was quite the dominant man when I met him. And now he's been on this whole journey of sissification and cock cages. And do those things have to go hand in hand together? No, they don't. But sometimes, maybe often, they do. So I think we all know historically what a chastity belt is. I'm sure you've seen some back in the day. And historically, it was a way of men controlling women and hello to the patriarchy, rearing its ugly head as usual. But it was really a way of attempting to lock down her access or anyone else's access. And listen, if we know humans, where there's a will, we'll find a way to fuck about it. And women learn to get in and out of those cages undetected. We're stealth. We're like 007s. But you can take that same reference or that same concept and translate it to the penis. And so here come cock cages. Allow me to explain a bit of the differences. There are so many variations. Silicone, plastic, metal, with vibrations, without vibrations, with spikes, without spikes, with temperature controls, with Bluetooth and Wi-Fi directives. Listen, AI and sex toys is already here, guys. Catch up, because a lot of toys have Bluetooth and apps that you can control with your partner, maybe from afar. Hello, long distance relationships. I digress. Anyways, with these different options, much like any other sex toys or sex aids, there's varying degrees of intensity. And so you can start off basic and small and simple. And if you've ever tried a cock ring, you might be familiar with the sensations of locking that blood into your cock and keeping it kind of centralized and intense, and that pressure buildup that comes in. I highly recommend, if you have never tried a cock ring, even if it's solo by yourself or with your favorite sex worker, give it a shot. Just make sure every 10 to 15 minutes that you remove it, give it 5 minutes and put it back on so that you can allow your blood to recirculate. Big, big, big rule.
You like that? You want more? Subscribe to the Patreon and I'll take you deep throat.
I think with a sex worker, it's that it's less risky. It's a very intimate, safe space for them to open up. And if it doesn't go well, there's not a lot of risk. And I think what Bill kind of touched on in that last segment was, and you've spoke about this quite a bit, that men kind of try things once and then they will shy away from it, whether it's bringing up a fetish or him expressing his emotion. Once they're not met with some sort of safety or communication about it, he's not trying that again. He's not going to go down that road. So you're almost leading him to finding a sex worker that will listen, that will allow him to open up and really like enjoy his vulnerability and help him.
I completely agree. I hate to always feel like I'm dumping on wives out there, but there's a lot of shit they do or a lot of things that they miss that literally lead their men into our arms. And it's a whole lot of both sides feelings, especially in our position, right? But the real life of it all, like their real lives, is that they don't have other spaces. It's not something they're talking about with their work buddies or, with their football team every Saturday or like whatever it is. They're just not. And they're obviously not pillow talking that way either at home. And thank God they have places where they can, like Muse, like other sex workers and all over the world. But no wonder they need it. Like,
I wonder how much of this is like changing, and it's very generational, because in my opinion, I feel like this type of man is very much so our age group and older, like the boomers. Like, I do think we're raising more emotionally intelligent and expressive children nowadays, that this may not be, a topic for the podcast in 20 years. Not that we'll be doing this, but you know what I mean? Like, I think it is changing, but it's dealing with the generation, like I said, our age group and a little bit older, that just wasn't part of life.
It's true. You can hop on, I'd say TikTok at any time, open it up and search whatever. And there are people openly talking about all kinds of things that no one used to talk about, right? Whether it's your ADHD or whether it's your autism or, your certain kind of cancers or like whatever you're talking about, you find a community. You're absolutely right in that. And yet the pendulum on things like that, like what's societally accepted, swings and changes. I'm shocked even at like the amount of people that came from our generation and younger that lean far right. Because I'm like, how did you grow up with Mr. Rogers?
Right.
Terry Fox and like the most loving examples of things, and then decide half the things are the worst things in the world. Like it just, that confuses me. But when you understand that things do swing, there was a time period where things were definitely more left. And hopefully now that everything's kind of swinging right, hopefully it'll go back. It happens with our laws and society's opinions of adult workers all the time. You can look back in ancient times where it was totally acceptable, or it was only for the rich and the fancy, and it was like elite to do those kind of things. Like it changes. And I hope that a lot of the mental health stuff stays left, because it should be okay to talk about. Same with the health things. Like you should be able to talk about your kidney disease with your family without someone going, oh my God, get away from me, or like some judgmental old school mind. You're absolutely right on that. I just hope it sticks because people need it. And as the world swings, it gets stressful for the opposite side. We
Mhm.
need mental health support no matter what. We need sex workers no matter what.
Yep.
Ha! Anyways, let's finish up this video.
Yes, I didn't realize that I could just be like, oh, that's between you and Mandy? All right, take it easy. Good luck with that shit. I'm going to go watch some hockey. That is some you and Mandy shit. Let me know how that works out. Or don't. I don't give a fuck. Yeah. Yeah. That's the thing. So that's like been an adjustment in the relationship now that I'm starting to feel feelings. Because it's not about the guy at all, right? Like all of these fucking holidays. My favorite time of the year is March and April. You know what I mean? It's just 61 glorious days. No fucking holiday where the man has to make some sort of financial gesture to the woman in his life. You know what I mean? Like Valentine's Day, it just sneaks up on you every year. It's like, I just fucking got you something. I just paid the bill in January, and then here we fucking go again. When are you gonna feel loved, right? Jesus fucking Christ, here you go. It's something shiny. Are you happy? Oh, that's good. I'm glad you're happy. Don't mind me. I'm just over here in a walking depression, but as long as you're happy, I'm happy. Don't mind me. Hey, look at me. I'm over here. I'm learning how to make a crepe. Yeah, I'm learning how to make a crepe. Wow, Bill, you have so many interests. No, just sad. Just sad, you know. Just trying to quiet the voices so I don't put rocks in my pocket and step in the pool. Okay? Who wants a crepe? Yeah. There are a lot of sad men. I realize that now that I know how fucked up I am. You can always, like, I can see through the matrix. There's so many sad guys. They don't even know they're sad. Yeah, ladies, you're married. You're probably married to a sad guy right now. That's what the fucking garage is for. That's what the garage is for. You tease him to your friends. He's always out there working on that project. He's never going to finish. Yeah, because he can't see the measurement through the tears. Right? I'll give you another classic fucking sad guy. That cool uncle you got, you know? The one who never got married, right? The one with the motorcycle. And you're looking at him, wow, he's so cool. He rides a motorcycle. He's not afraid to die. Yeah, because he died years ago. When whatever happened to him, happened to him. He comes over for the holidays. How long does he last seeing a loving family? He can't fucking handle it. He wants it. He doesn't know how to get it. Gotta hit the trail. And he rides away. And you're like, wow, he's so cool. That's because you can't see the tears streaking down his face, conditioning his ponytail. As he rides off to fuck some sleeve-tattooed, traumatized woman. Is this too sad for even Seattle? All right. All right, well, I will give you the #1 place to see sad men. Guitar Center. Oh my God. One of the saddest places on earth. Failed, struggling musicians behind the counter. A bunch of men in loveless marriages or divorced just walking around, looking at the guitars. Is that a custom color? Is it? Maybe if I add that to my collection, it'll fill up whatever this void is in the center of my chest. I don't know. I don't have any fucking solutions, but... Yeah.
The one thing that stood out to me that made me cringe in that part a little bit is the gay comment, because I think it's silly. It's juvenile to think that,
Yeah.
first of all. But like, men put it on themselves. If men are with a bunch of their buddies and one of their friends says, I'm sad, and they go, oh, you're so gay, or like the F word at them or something, like,
Right.
why do you guys do that to yourselves? That's silly to me. That's just, you're stifling yourselves.
Mhm.
And then looking at us going, why don't you understand when I finally said it? Where you been? Like, you've been telling other men that have feelings that they're gay too. So, like, what are you doing? It's just confusing. And I'm like, how detrimental to your own cause. Like,
Yeah.
what? Of
That's
course he
true.
need us. So funny.
That's true.
I just
The
don't
one
get
part
it.
that
You know,
the one part that stood out to me was I think men have really mastered masking their emotions. And Bill kind
oh,
of touched on this when he was talking about whether it's the project in the garage or the guy in the motorcycle. Like they really, it's dismissing it, avoidance, and just masking everything to their own disservice. And it's sad.
you know what? It makes me think for some reason when I saw that part, I thought of Neighbors.
Okay.
Because like think of like your street growing up or even the street you're on now. There's that guy across the street that's always tinkering.
Hmm.
There's the one that's always renovating. There's the one that mows his lawn 4 times a week and has the most perfect
Right.
grass. I have neighbors like that. I'm like, please do my lawn. Look like that. But it's like, of course. They
Hmm.
I'm thinking of like so many neighbors, even like in relationships where we live somewhere. Their father was like that, always in the garage. What's
Hmm.
with the garage, guys? But I get it. Like hearing it that way, of course it's the garage, better than the basement, unless it's a finished basement. And
Right.
he's got fresh air and freedom. He can come and go
Right.
through the fucking garage door. He doesn't have to hear it from anybody else, right? Like it's his man cave. And
Hmm.
to think that someone would renovate their house and build themselves a man cave so as to facilitate their own emotional avoidance and escape
Right.
is a wild thought.
Hmm. It is.
And yet we love a woman shed just as much, but we don't build it so that we can go take out our daddy issues. It's got me boggled to think.
Well, I mean, I think there's genuinely men with hobbies. So I don't want to now look at all men
True,
like you're avoiding stuff. I know what you're doing in there, but I'll
true.
definitely look at, the guy in the garage, his garage a little differently because that is, I mean, walk your dog, walk around your neighborhood, you will see it everywhere. And
Yeah,
it does make me think of them a little differently now. I
you
just
got
feel
me
like
blushing. I'm
you
real
need
embarrassed
someone
now.
to talk
Hobbies.
to. You can tell me your feelings.
Men are allowed hobbies. I absolutely know that. Shame on me. That's so embarrassingly funny. I'm blushing. I don't put my foot in my mouth very often, but I fully did there. My cheeks are warm. Oh gosh. It's true, but like I mean more the like, you know what? I'm just gonna be blunt. I am thinking specifically of my ex-fiance and the way his
Okay.
father depended on the garage for
Okay.
sanity. And like in the summertime, it was a little bit of the backyard and the garage, but just in general, it was the only place this poor man had peace.
Right.
And it was the only time that he could like be alone with his thoughts because it was a very full, multi-generational, very loud house.
Right.
And yeah, he had no space. He had no space. And
No.
nobody gave a fuck how that man felt at
No.
all. I loved his father. Anyways, it just that immediately came to my mind because it didn't matter if it was minus 40 outside. He had 3 space
Right.
heaters in the
Yeah.
garage, put on 6 pairs of gloves, smoke his pack of cigarettes, and just that was Saturday.
Yeah.
He'd live to go to work and then get away from everyone while at home and that escapism kind of thing. And yeah,
Yeah.
no one ever talked to him about his feelings. He was expected to be macho all the
Hmm.
time.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, and that wasn't a hobby. That was an over like dependence.
Hmm.
Now that I'm really thinking it through. Hmm. Interesting. Like the things you learn in hindsight when you reflect. Ugh. But again, it's just sad that there aren't more spaces for men to be
Hmm.
open. I would say in some ways it's awesome that there is some on the internet. And yet it's still risky to even put that on the internet.
Hmm.
Your average Joe isn't going to sit and make a video about his feelings and be like,
Yeah.
I'm going to join TikTok for the first time and just post. He
Right.
might, but he also might not. And the comments sometimes can get rough. Some
Right.
people will be like, you're so brave and you're so strong for sharing this. And other people will be like, you big sissy, shut up and quit crying.
Hmm.
Like it can go either way. Women, the comment section's usually about our physical appearance. Other than that, they
Sure.
don't really care. But
Yeah.
with men, they'll dig at them in ways that would touch their ego if that's already like a sore spot.
Hmm.
And then it gets poked. Very similar to the one time that they decide to confide in their partner or something like
Yeah.
that. And if they're shunned or dismissed. The fact that she just walked out the room is just crazy to me. That part keeps sticking in my head too. Because like I don't even like that he was like, is that an option? Because
Mhm.
no, that shouldn't be an option. She shouldn't have done that in the first place. Like the first time he finally expresses it, she's like, okay, feel better. I just
Right.
walks away.
Well, and I mean, I think it's ideal for your safe space to be your partner if you're in a partnership. Um,
Yes.
but it doesn't have to be. And I know I don't want to like always talk about going to a sex worker, but this can be a buddy. It could be
Mhm.
a neighbor, it could be your brother. Like, but I think men need to seek out that safe space. And if it is a
Yes.
sex worker, so be it. And that's okay
Yeah.
too. But really be actively looking for someone that you can speak to and be open and honest about your emotions and it be well received. I think it's so important that we all have. And like we said, women have multiple outlets like this. Like it's from our coworkers to our families to our friends to our partners. We can spew our emotions 24/7 and people are there to receive them. It's and for men it's such a search, but it's also finding that comfort to do it and stepping outside of
Yeah.
the box.
Yeah, it definitely, I'm sure I can only like not speak for them, but like assume that it takes balls the first time
Mhm.
around, maybe the first few times around even.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, even with men, we try to have deep conversations where
Mhm.
we're usually the one sharing
Right.
and then asking them what they think about what we just shared. It's not
Right.
necessarily an even like, hey, now you go.
Yeah.
Ignore what I said. Tell me your story. Like we're not giving speeches, you know? Oh, I do wish that men more had like that sense of community. And you're right, it takes searching, but I think with effort in the right places, maybe it's not your like stupid golf buddies or something.
Mhm.
Maybe it's you find new people. And if you build like a little circle of like three emotionally intelligent men,
Mhm.
that could be a lifetime's worth of support. Like
Yeah.
that could go really, really far. Whereas you're right, we probably have 15
Yeah.
and each one has its own circle because every
Mhm.
group of friends is a different group of friend, right? So
Yeah.
like, yeah. And I have a funny feeling, unfortunately, men won't find that at home. They're going to have
Mhm.
to outsource it to either other men, seeing people like us, a therapist. It might take a village to come together from
Yeah.
different aspects instead of one circle.
Mhm.
Hmm. I hate that part. I hate this part that
Mhm.
men struggle with. It's sad. Like I love that he put the humor spin on it. I love me some
Yeah.
Bill Burr. We've still got to
Yeah.
give him all the credit because he's hilarious. But like, gosh, what a sad, dark topic, and how unfair to feel
Mhm.
you have to live your life stifled that way.
Yeah.
You don't, guys. You
Mhm.
don't. You don't have to live that way. I always say it. Talk to us. You can send us messages. I like to talk. I'll write back.
Well, and that's the thing, taking that risk. Because listen, if you guys ever took a risk and messaged Emily, you would be like, I hit gold because she will not only reply, she'll become invested. And listen, don't blow up her email, guys. But
Right.
she really does but it takes that one, there's so many men that you communicate with that are Muse
Mhm.
clients that I'm positive look back and think, you know what, I wrote in with this request. I told a little bit about myself. And now look where it got me. But he took that
Yeah.
risk. So you need to be an active participant and just, take the first step. You never know
It's
who's going
so
to be on the
true.
other side.
It's right. Like I try with those kind of interactions, I really try. And now it's happening with the pod too, right?
Mhm.
We've got listeners and subscribers and patrons that message as well. And I'd like to think if they just, like you said, first just wrote in with a question or I'd like to book an appointment or just something simple. And by the end of our back and forth, they feel like they made a friend. I
Yeah.
think then I've done a really good job at my job because they're comfortable enough that if they have another need, they can be like, hey, Em, I got another one
Mhm.
for you. What do you think about this? And then we can make magic happen from there and hopefully always find them the best solutions we can come up with anyway. I do really try with that kind of stuff. And I'm also very blunt. If someone's annoying, I'll be like, you're messaging me too much. It's not the same bluntness you guys see on the pod because I will spit it out very honestly. And I'm also as long-winded. But yeah, I really try because I also am very aware of not just the risk, but the fact that they probably have been rejected in some social sense on some of these sensitive matters at any given time in their life. It could be a childhood
Right.
trauma. It could be, I tried to talk to my wife yesterday about this.
Mhm.
Like it could go any direction. And I mean what I say when we say, like, you can always message us and talk to us about anything. And it's how we collect even more information and knowledge that makes us even better at our jobs, because we
Mhm.
wouldn't know how to speak on half these topics if men didn't confide in us and tell us these
Yeah.
wonderful, heartbreaking, sad things. Listen, as an attendant, I had many sessions that over years of seeing clients became emotional.
Mhm.
It might sound weird, like why is a guy paying to go see this gorgeous, escort or stripper or something and end up crying for 45
Mhm.
minutes? And it's like, well, humanity,
Yeah.
that's why, right? And so if you have felt stifled your whole life or you haven't had an outlet, and then someone actually listens and they're naked and they just made you come and they're pretty to look at, like, yeah, the emotions flood sometimes. And
Mhm.
it's equally heartbreaking and heart-wrenching because I'm holding this weeping man in
Mhm.
what should be a very sexy scenario. And I know in that moment, he's not had this opportunity in
Mhm.
God knows how long, years, decades, whatever. It's very special and very fragile and like kind of delicate.
Mhm.
But yet another gift of being a sex worker, right? Like we get
Yeah.
privy to these things, these private conversations in these secret corners that civilians don't hear. And
Mhm.
it just makes the magic worth all the stress of the
Yeah.
job and like the risks and all those things. The money and the magic. That's what we like. But it does, it makes it a beautiful experience instead of what could
Mhm.
be a really difficult experience. And that's how you end up with naked friends. And so I think that's where that all comes from. It's just
Sure.
lovely. Men are just lovely. They're just lovely. I hope this one touched everybody a little bit and made them laugh too. Shout out to Bill Burr. Subscribe
Yeah.
to his channel too, guys. He's a superstar. Make sure you absolutely join us over on Patreon because that's where we drop all the not safe for YouTube stuff. And Patreon's been rocking and rolling lately, man. I
Yeah.
am so gassed. We have almost doubled our views and our subscribers since season 4 launched. So, guys, join the community over there. Hop in
Mhm.
the comments. We have a lot more candid conversations in those comments too, because there's not as many eyes around. Your
Well,
safe
listen,
space again.
we're heading over to Patreon now, so join us.
Yes, that's up next. I love it. All right, guys, we'll see you on the next episode of Muse on the Mic.
Guys.
See you.